Ladies and gentlemen, dear guests, as ambassador of Romania to the Court of St. James's, it is my great privilege to welcome you to our embassy on the occasion of celebrating the 25th year of the MIHAI EMINESCU Trust and the launch of a new network, the Friends of the Trust. The MIHAI EMINESCU Trust is dedicated to the conservation and regeneration of old villages in Transylvania and Maramuresh, two of the most unspoiled regions in Europe. And I am proud to say that its work is used now as a model for EU-funded rural regeneration projects, not only in Romania, but in other parts of Europe.
One thing I do want to say is we're 25 years old, and some people in this room were colleagues of us in the Ceausescu days when it was really a terrible, terrible time. And it's wonderful. I want to say a big thank you to you all. Some of the people we helped in those days became ministers in the government after Ceausescu fell. They were dissidents beforehand. They were the dregs of society, and then after 3 or 4 or 5 years of us helping them, they became these incredible people. They were heads of publishing house, they were every form of heads of universities and all those things. And it's a wonderful time to remember. However, I'm only now going to speak and show you 8 photographs, because I'm welcoming our new friends, not only our old friends, and anybody who supports us in any way will be continuing the work we've done. And I'm just really here to entice you by these 5 or 6 incredible photographs I want to show you. Lots of people know it already, but a lot of people don't. And I'm just going to show you the first photograph, and there'll be about 7 more. This is the village of Viscri, the church. There are all these 45 churches, as you know, and it's got incredible natural countryside around it. That is the layout of a typical Transylvanian village. Saxon village, and you can see what the wildflowers are like. The next one is Malencraft village, where our great Apathy manor house is, which we restored. And in 1999, 3 trustees and I came across this complete ruin, a wreck, and we fell in love. We didn't know what to do. We had to save it in some way. Here is a photograph of one other side of it, and you'll see what a wreck it was. Next photograph shows what we transformed it into. And interior, very important, you'll see that everything in the interior is made by hand in the village, by the villagers. That is our philosophy. Next photograph shows the library. Now, the library was created by David Milinari, but 4 people in this room helped with the books. And it has a 4-language library in it, and you can have the most wonderful 2 weeks of just reading and reading and reading if you want to go there. Next photograph, a Viscri cobbled highway. Next photograph. This is a much smaller farmhouse that you could take, and an interior to that is much more simple. It's very much on the lines of landmark trust. No television, very simple. Next photograph you've already seen, but we'll see it again, and this is Viscri Church, and we're now just about to end. It is to show you the amazing architecture you'll never see anywhere else in the whole of Europe. These 45 churches, which were under threat and about to be destroyed, and we have managed to save many of them. Final and last photograph, we start a new whole village project in Armavi, and that shows you a very different type of church.
It is, I think, the most remarkable conservation challenge in the whole of the European continent. It's certainly the most worthwhile. You saw in those photographs what you're dealing with there. It's beautiful countryside, sensational churches, utterly unchanged, 17th, 16th, 17th, 18th century villages, and these wonderful, almost identical farms down each street. You have the farmhouse, you have the garden behind, you have the common land behind, up onto the hill. Everything is as it was. It is the best thought out conservation project I've ever come across. It is exactly what you needed to do with these communities, but the whole situation is vulnerable. And to go in there and to say, right, the one thing we're not going to do is an English heritage. We're not going to take 5 important buildings and rebuild them. We're going to make the people who live in these communities restore them themselves because they realize it's worthwhile. It's worthwhile for tourism, it's worthwhile for the buildings of fascinating buildings to live in, the farms are worth using. These are communities that ought to evolve, not be revolutionized. And the concept of the whole village project, where the whole village is to sign up to the conservation plan for the village. And then the trust comes in and helps with a little money, not very much, but with expertise, such that the local people do the work. Nobody comes in from outside and tells them what to do. And to see it working, 1,000 projects they've now done, I have to say I'm just amazed, and I'm not easily amazed. I cannot speak too highly of what's happened in these valleys, these hills, these villages, these towns. It really is a worthwhile project.